behaviour is acceptable?
I think the chicken noise thing.
I was asking you, Mohammed, do you think that behaviour is acceptable? Is that the way we have intellectual discussions here?
But you know, can I tell you something? I agree it was a bit bright. I agree it was a bit. But it was a bit, it was a bit frantic. But like, can I tell you something? Yeah. I was quite shocked with, what's his name, the other guy? The atheist guy.
Well, the guy in the radio guy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
What's it, Will?
Will,
yeah.
yes.
I'm actually shocked that he ran away like that as well, to be honest. Why would you come to Speaker's Corner if you're not able to discuss it with the most intellectual interlocutor? He knows that Sabur is one of the best people to talk about atheism.
Your opinion, but
no, from the Muslim side. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would wonder like why he kind of ran away like that. He does have the choice. Yeah.
Correct.
But I mean, what one has to ask themselves: why would you come to only to hunt the small fish? Why don't you come to?
Well, he didn't hunt the small fish. The lady actually came over and spoke to us. It wasn't like he went to the lady or to the other guy to look for them.
What was the reason why he didn't want to engage with him?
Ask him. I don't know.
I've never seen such a thing in my life. I mean,
you want to be on camera.
You've never done that yourself, have you? I mean, you've never been afraid to. Yeah, I know.
But I mean, what I would hope is people like you call out bad behaviour. The same with Ahmed, the guy who claimed that I had incorrectly edited a video.
I don't know.
Do you remember the going on with Sarah?
I wasn't even there.
No, you weren't there.
Yeah.
But what would be great here? Have you seen the little video with Hamza, Tiny Hamza? I call him Polite Hamza.
Yeah, he's really good.
That's the example that should be here. And now we have guys shouting like, I would say, acting like our common ancestors. Not that they are, but acting like that. And is that the way we want to have? It just reflects badly on some of you guys. Not all of you, but some of you. Because you have people shouting, you have people threatening, and people look at Muslims and go, hey, it's always the Muslims. Now, that's not true for everybody. I'm the first person to say that.
Everyone has their own
But it always seems to be the same story.
Yeah, but everyone is a Speaker's Corner. Like, what are you going to expect? Do you know what I mean?
But what do you come down here for? What's your purpose for being?
People. Yeah.
Okay. Is your intention to make people look stupid?
Me? No.
Because it's easy, isn't it? You can always talk on a topic that somebody knows nothing about, and you can then call them out. So, you and I, hopefully, we come out here to have an intellectually honest discussion. Is truth important to you?
Exactly. Yeah.
Is it?
It is. Yeah,
to me as well. Whatever it is. If Islam were true, I would have to accept it. I'd be very unhappy if it were, but I would have to accept it. I'm not joking.
I like that honesty.
So, if truth is important, that's the most important thing. And showboating and the tactics that I do, you use a little bit as well.
Maybe I do.
Yes, you do.
Maybe.
I rewatched our video with Phil. Do you remember Phil for the hour and a half we sat down there? And I was like, I was face palming it. I was face palming.
It's true that sometimes I get into this kind of like performer mode.
I know, but at least you're honest, and you know.
No.
If somebody that's knowledgeable,
I do it because it has to be a little bit entertaining. I think.
Yeah, but you come here because you've got a bit of a profile, so you don't want to look bad on camera.
What?
That's part of it, isn't it? I mean, if you're honest, you don't want to look like you're losing a debate, which I don't think is a problem anyway. But
I don't think anyone does.
Correct.
But the truth is, I've lost many debates.
So have I. Well, when you say lost,
the truth. You want to know the truth?
Go on then. Tell me.
I'll tell you the truth. Yeah. But the truth is, I've lost many debates. But usually, the debates I've lost. The thing is,
it's not about losing, isn't it?
Yeah, let me say
it's about getting to truth.
The debates I've lost have led me to truth. Do you get me? So like, just the other day I was debating with someone about a Islamic thing.
Not the Shia guy.
No. I've always won those debates. No, it was an inter-Sunni kind of discussion, and I had a real, like, I was very strong on one particular point, and then he presented his evidences for the contrary point.
Evidence. Why do you say evidences? Is that just
more than one?
Well, evidence, we just use it as a collective anyway. Yeah, fine.
You can put ES as well on evidence.
It's not normally how we speak in English. Maybe it is. Maybe
no,
some
it is. You can use evidence.
I have evidence, which includes multiple lines of evidence.
We could check with dictionary.
Okay, we could. Yes. You could be right.
Maybe in South Africa.
I always see it as evidence. Anyway.
But he produces his evidence.
So why don't you? Because bring evidence. That's right. There you go.
When he produced it, I had to submit to it. That's how it is. Like for me, like we have a saying.
Okay, if that's true. Why is it? And I've got the video at home, and I was going to put it up, but I'm glad you're here. Yeah. So I'll ask you to your face.
Yeah, go ahead.
Why is it when Phil told you about why infinites, you can't claim they're impossible, you came back about 2 months later and you spoke to a Canadian Indian guy here and you said, no, infinites are impossible. After Phil had told you the whole story on that, why would you come back and then make that claim?
Well, I mean, Phil has one perspective, which is the eternal inflation model. He believes in eternal inflation.
That's what you see.
No, but in the context of the universe, that's what he was talking about, eternal inflation.
No, we were talking about Hilbert's Hotel. And we explained to you very carefully why you can't use Hilbert.
He premised it on eternal inflation, isn't it? He believes in eternal inflation.
That's one model, but there's multiple models.
Yeah. But that's what he believes in. Right?
Yeah, but the main point is that we don't know.
But
so it's not.
The context was that. So if you believe in eternal inflation,
the first 2 or 3 centuries BC,
then the time doesn't really matter. Are you with me? Yeah.
Cutting you off because you're a bit tall.
Yeah, but anyway, so the time doesn't really matter too much because there's not like time is not a factor.
What's that got to do with infinity then?
So if you premise it on something which is itself speculative, because the thing is, within the scientific community, we have to be honest and say the majority of scientists in the West. I'm not saying that this means that it's true, but the majority of scientists in the West, they believe in the Big Bang and expanding.
No, I wouldn't say that.
All right. Well, even if you wouldn't say that, that's what I was taught in school.
Okay. How long ago was that? How long ago was that? 20 years. Okay.
20 years ago. What? Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Maybe you look young. Doesn't matter.
No, man. I'm not gonna take
Mohammed, here's the problem I have. Some people come here and make claims, absolute claims.
Yeah.
Which the smartest people on the planet can't do that.
Do you accept that? Do you accept that at least a large proportion of scientists within the Western Hemisphere, they adopt Big Bang and eternal and expanding?
Okay, but when you say Big Bang, there's multiple theories just around the Big Bang.
I know, I understand, but as a basic premise, do you accept that?
No, and I don't, unless you can bring me evidence. You know, the thing that we really want to.
That's interesting. So you're saying that it doesn't exist.
You need to say, Rob, here's the evidence that shows that the overwhelming majority of cosmologists.
Okay, let's not say majority. Let's say a large proportion of them.
Some people. So I'm happy if you say some people. So
you're actually suggesting,
some people.
Because that's afactual. That's not correct.
Well, bring me the evidence. Show me, and I'll correct myself.
No, it's not. Look, the thing is, with this kind of evidence, it's just going to be name quoting, isn't it?
Yeah, but you're making the claim that the majority of scientists believe in the Big Bang.
So you're saying that you're saying you don't accept that?
I'm saying to you, bring me the evidence that's the case. I would submit to you that some scientists believe in the Big Bang theory, and there's multiple theories around just that.
By the way, I'm not here standing and like protecting the Big Bang theory.
No, that's fine.
I'm just saying, I'm pointing an obvious case that the majority of, I personally see that the majority of scientists in the West, they believe in the Big Bang theory. Some,
if you can give me evidence,
I believe actually, I would say a fringe minority.
Yeah, but you're making that claim without evidence. It's just like a feeling you have because you were told something in school 15 years ago.
15 years ago, so you've made it from 20 to 15.
I'm making it good for you, whatever it was, a long time ago.
No, it wasn't that long ago. No. It wasn't, trust me, it wasn't. Anyways,
stay on it.
The point I'm making is, it's neither here nor there. What I'm saying is both of those models are working models, yeah?
There's many working models,
yes. So the eternal inflation model is a working model.
Yes.
It's a valid working model.
Yes, it has not been falsified.
Just like the Big Bang theory is a valid working model.
While the Big Bang refers to multiple
just like that's a working valid model.
Yeah.
It's a valid working model, yeah?
It's what they refer to, it's not a model.
I'm not saying it's not a model scientific model. They're both scientific models, yeah?
The one is a model, the other is just something we refer to. Remember, no scientist that I'm aware of says, hey, I've got a Big Bang model.
You're talking nonsense. Right now, to be honest with you now, I feel like you're talking nonsense.
All right, why am I talking nonsense?
Because you're using jargon as it suits your own case. We have to be intellectually honest here. Like, what I'm saying here is...
I mean, I've listened to quite a bit of it, so tell me where I'm wrong.
First and foremost, the majority, this is a fact. Yeah, this is a fact.
Okay, when you say fact, we need evidence for a fact, not your opinion.
Evidence, you're saying, what you're actually inevitably telling me to do right now, when you say evidence of the majority, yeah?
Yes.
How many scientists are there in the West?
You tell me, you're making the claim.
I'm asking you the question.
Mohammed.
How many scientists are there?
Who knows, 10,000.
Thousands, yeah? Correct. Maybe even millions, yeah?
Here's a way to do, here's a way you can bring the evidence.
Hold on, please. Let me finish off, yeah? If there are millions of scientists in the West...
10,000, let's say.
More than that. Yeah, if maybe let's just say 10,000 for the sake of argument. You're telling me to bring evidence that of the 10,000, let's say 6,000, 5,500, whatever it may be, believe in Big Bang. Yeah?
Yes, if you're going to make that claim.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Now, I'm telling you, that's an impossible thing for me to do.
No, it's not, because you could go to the American Institute of Science.
Do you believe that the theory of evolution, the majority of people in the West believe in it, or scientists?
Of the scientists that I have knowledge on that topic, yes, as far as I can read.
How do you know that? Give me the evidence.
So I will go. Okay, so what I'll do next time.
No, don't make the claim.
No, but I'll come.
No, don't make the claim.
Wait.
Don't make the claim.
Wait.
Well, how can you say that?
I will come back next Sunday and bring you evidence. Is that okay?
No, it's not okay.
You don't want evidence.
No, because not what you've applied a double standard. You see what he just did there?
You asked me.
He's telling me to bring evidence.
Why are you talking to the crowd? Mohammed, I'm here. Speak to me.
I know. I want to tell him.
Okay, but that's
No. You've just told me.
Are we going to be intellectually honest here?
Yeah, we are.
So we talk to each other, not the crowd.
That's fine. I just wanted him to know what I'm talking about.
He can hear you. He's got good ear. Stick with me.
Okay, look. You just asked me, to bring evidences that the majority of scientists in the West believe in the Big Bang.
Yes.
Then I said,
you do that, and I will bring you the evidence.
Let me ask this man here.
Evolution.
No, sorry. He's a very intelligent man. He's an atheist. He's not with me. This man here. I've discussed.
I assumed you were talking about somebody else. When
Listen, would you agree? Look, I want a secondary. Do you mind? I want a second atheist opinion. Would you agree with me that at least you would say? I'm saying the majority. Let me just say it that way. Would you say that the majority of scientists in the West subscribe to the Big Bang theory or a Big Bang theory of some sort and expanding universe model?
Now changed it. Naughty.
Same thing. Yeah.
You mean sociologists?
No, scientists. I'm talking strict scientists.
Sociologists?
No.
Botanists?
No, not sociologists. That's
which
social scientists.
Cosmologists?
I'm talking about natural scientists.
Physicists?
Cosmologists, thank you very much.
Physicists?
Yes, okay,
so
fine.
But you said scientists.
All right,
which would be all sorts of
fine, okay,
fields
let's make it
who
more
are not
specific.
qualified to speak on cosmology at all.
Okay, fine.
In the same way that I'm even less qualified to speak on cosmology.
Are you a cosmologist?
No.
Okay, cool. No. So tell me now, would you accept that the majority of cosmologists in the West subscribe to Big Bang theory, yes or no?
Based on my limited experience, which includes the very interesting discussion that you had with Phil Harper a few months ago, and watching his videos, which no doubt you've watched on his channel.
No, I haven't watched his channel.
Oh, please do. They're very, very informative.
Oh, okay.
He's been round the world speaking to some of the leading cosmologists.
Yes, leading is fine, but we're talking about generally as a number, as a proportion.
I have no idea.
So you don't know the answer?
All I can tell you is
let me ask you the same question. Do you think that the majority of biologists and geneticists subscribe to evolution theory? Darwinian evolution, neo-Darwinian evolution.
Not the evolution that
not
Darwin
Lamarckian, not neo-Lamarckian. I'm talking about neo-Darwinian evolution.
I think that is as far as I understand, that is the paradigm within which most biologists and geneticists work.
Okay.
I'm sure there are some biologists who work in fields where it simply isn't relevant. I think most of them, and I have been to a few talks with biologists,
but it seems
they always talk in evolutionary terms.
Okay, thank you.
They never refer to another kind of paradigm.
That's fine. Thank you very much. Because this is what I was trying to say. My point is, sorry, I'll cut you off.
So has he proved my point or yours?
No, I think it's proved my point. Because I'll tell you something, right?
Sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
Not sure what his point was anyway.
The issue is this. I feel the reason why I believe, with all respect to you,
go for it.
I have
this is free speech. You can say whatever you like.
Let me tell you one thing.
I'll choose to feel offended or not.
Let me tell you one thing I respect about you, and I'll say it: that you don't edit your videos with Muslims. That's why I'm happy.
Somebody claimed that I did.
Oh, okay. Well, hopefully you didn't.
Well, of course not.
Because otherwise I wouldn't feel comfortable. This is the only camera was pointing at me. What I'm saying to you is this: look, I believe sometimes you can be intellectually dishonest.
Tell me why. And give me an example.
That's my honest
You're entitled to have that opinion.
Look,
tell me why and
position,
what it is.
Let me tell you something, As a Muslim, we don't believe in human evolution. We don't believe in it. Why? It's scripturally, for us, it's scripturally an aberration,
You are aware that some Muslims actually accept
No,
this?
but as the majority of Muslims, the scholars of Islam, I can tell you that they don't believe it. All right. Now,
can I ask you a question? When you say they're scholars of Islam, they're not biologists or evolutionists?
No, of course not.
They're scholars of Islam?
Yeah.
It's almost like asking a sociologist or
exactly.
or an aerodynamics expert.
We're just talking about
evolution.
No,
so you're classifying a whole bunch of people.
I don't think you've understood. You don't understood.
I'm just clarifying.
From a textual perspective, are you listening carefully? From a textual perspective, is it plausible to reconcile human evolution with the Quran? So from a theological perspective, not from a biological perspective, and this is a qualified statement here, from a theological, scriptural perspective, which we're entitled to have, the majority don't believe in that. Now, I will tell you that that neo-Darwinian evolution, despite me disagreeing with parts of it at least, is a valid working model which the majority of scientists in the Western Hemisphere believe in. Why? Because if I say other than that, this will be intellectual dishonesty. These people around me, will be misinformed if I say that. Now, by the same token, I know that you believe in an infinite universe,
No, I don't.
Okay, no, sorry. You believe in infinity, Can exist
No,
in the real world.
no. I said it's possible.
Okay,
you
fine,
came and
fine.
made the claim it's impossible.
All right, fine, okay.
Let's make sure
that's fine. So that's your issue, that you believe that infinity is possible, You know,
it's possible. Anything's possible.
You know, and I know that a lot of the arguments that theologians use depend upon a beginning of the universe, right? So here, your bias, you have to think once again intellectually, honestly, isn't it? Your bias is when you think to yourself, okay, that's how it is. So what would suit my worldview more is an eternal inflation model, Therefore, I will start saying to people that now the majority of scientists don't believe in expanding universe or don't believe in the Big Bang. So here, I believe if we're being intellectually honest, we'll say, look, on one hand, you have the Big Bang and expanding universe model, which the majority do believe in, that inflation and eternal inflation. By the way, inflation is different to eternal inflation. But anyways, inflation and eternal inflation models, that's a minority opinion, although some do hold it. Then we can have an intellectually honest discussion. But when you start making claims that no, actually it's not even a model, that's what you said. That the Big Bang theory is not even a model, but eternal inflation is a model, then I feel like you're either lying to the people or you're misinformed yourself. In which case,
I could be misinformed. My belief is that the term Big Bang isn't a model. So let me show you models. This is not.
No, I'm talking about the Big Bang theory and expanding. Look, I'm talking about the expanding universe model. That's a model.
There's 3 models there. Some of them incorporate the Big Bang, those 3 there.
Okay,
some of them don't.
Fine.
I'm not arguing that point.
Thank you. So that's what I'm talking about.
What I am saying is that nobody that I'm aware of says that the Big Bang is a model like these. It's just a term we use.
No, but then look,
it's a term, isn't it?
The thing is
it's not a model per se.
You have to understand how science works,
Are you giving me a lecture on science? Okay, go on then, tell me.
We're not giving,
I know.
Sorry, I do apologize. That was an arrogant statement. Okay. I arrogated that.
I agree with you for once.
No. Listen, I'm sorry.
Can I just
we have to understand. We have to understand how science works. Science is premised on the philosophy of science. Because of the nature of the philosophy of science, it's necessarily the case that science is not incorrigible. Do you know what this means?
Remind me. No, I've heard it, but I wouldn't be able to.
It means that science is not something which is not changing. The word corrigibility means changing in English language. Now, so when I say that science is not necessarily incorrigible, for example, as we know,
it's not absolute. In other words,
absolute is a little bit different.
Okay.
When we say that, for example, in 1904, 1905. When Albert Einstein discovered when he propounded special relativity, and which was then made into general relativity 10 years afterwards.
Yes.
That's a scientific model. Do you get me?
Correct. How did we find out that it's true?
We can't.
Well, we did observations.
No, hold on. Sorry, this is the point. Say that again. Say that question again.
So, how do we find out whether a model is true?
You can never find. This is a perfect question. Thank you very much.
Likely true.
No. I'm really happy with this. This question is a good question. His question was, how do you find out if a model is true, a scientific model?
Yes.
My answer is daring. Okay. Listen to my daring answer. Listen to my daring answer.
Okay.
No.
Come on, get on with it.
My daring answer is as follows. You can never find out if a scientific model is absolutely true.
I didn't say absolutely true.
True.
Okay.
I'm just using the word true.
True colloquially.
Fine.
True, yes.
No. Colloquially doesn't mean anything to me. I'm just saying, you can never...
jumping between terms.
No. I'm just saying, a scientific...
Accept my view or no?
Okay, fine. I'm saying a scientific model can never be proven to be true.
True in the colloquial sense?
No, it can never be proven to be true.
Okay.
Do you know how I can prove that?
Go on.
Okay. No, come here and tell me how it can be true.
Scientific
come here.
Can be true. The laws of gravity.
No, come here.
Okay, the laws of gravity, that's part of the scientific model. If something goes up, it has to come down. I can take this man's cap off, hold it, and it comes down.
Okay, so you've misunderstood my words.
Please explain.
See here, this man here this beautiful looking man here, what's your name? Preston here, Valencia supporter, has made the point that if I drop this cup as I have right now, and I will pick it up because I don't advocate littering. I don't advocate littering. But this cup here, if we drop it, we will find that it drops on the floor and therefore it's true.
Laws of gravity.
What you have talked about is a scientific observation. Wait a minute.
Observation?
Yes, hold on, listen carefully. There is a difference in the philosophy of science there's a difference in the philosophy of science between what is referred to as a scientific observation and what is referred to as a scientific model. A scientific observation is the fact that I can drop this cup right now, Preston, and the cup will drop. That's an observation. I have not said today that an observation cannot be true. What was necessarily my statement is that a scientific model can never be proven to be true. Now, what's the difference between an observation and a model? The observation here, the cup is dropping, yeah? That's a scientific observation. I'll give you the money later on. Or maybe later.
So maybe she's offering it to you.
Maybe she's, no, I don't think she is. That's a false induction. That's a false inference. You need to go back to the philosophy of science. Here, what I'm saying is, I drop this cup here. That's an observation, right? There are two models. Wait a minute. There are two models, you'd know this, as to how and why this cup dropped. Isaac Newton, Newtonian physics would dictate there was a pulling force. Einsteinian physics would actually dictate it was a pushing force. Now, wait a minute. There are two different models that explain the same phenomena.
Where do you come with Einstein's a pushing force?
Well, this is something you can look into. I'm not going to.
I've never heard of that.
No problem. You can check it. You can check it yourself.
Right.
The other, in other words, you have one scientific observation, the cup dropping, and you have two scientific models which are conflicting with one another.
No, they're not, because they both come to the same thing.
Excuse me. Are you saying that Newtonian physics is not conflict?
No, whether it's Newtonian or, as you said, Einstein, it's still the same thing. It goes down. It doesn't go up.
Preston, you have misunderstood my words. No one has rejected that the cup falls, okay? I haven't rejected that. This old man, this beautiful old man, he hasn't rejected that. My intelligent atheist friend, he hasn't rejected that. This man, he hasn't rejected that.
Mohammed,
the Muslim hasn't rejected that.
Come on, we're getting bored.
No. These people have not rejected that. We have come together. Does anyone reject this? No. No one has rejected that. What we have said instead is that there are different models to explain why the cup fell. There's an Einsteinian model and there is a Newtonian. Is that correct or not?
Final point about all this.
The final point is as follows.
Teaching the
No, sorry, sir. He doesn't know.
Yes, he does.
You do know, maybe. Because I know. No, he doesn't know. He doesn't know this stuff.
According to him,
No. A lot of people at home won't know this. Yeah, I didn't know this. I had to be educated on this. Yeah? Do you get me? All right. No. Not everyone is at the high level of
so
this man.
So distinct between observations and models.
Isn't humbleness one of the virtues of Islam? Being humble? Isn't being humble a virtue?
I'll take that as an. I'll take that. Thank you. I'm sorry if I'm not being humble. I apologize.
That's okay.
But you know what this is?
Pointed out. You see, Mohammed, what I notice is this is like a show for you. This is not about.
So is this an ad hominem attack?
This is no. This is not
observation.
I think this is a show for you, as in like you want to look good. You want to for the boys at home to go, hey, this Mohammed, he showed all those guys. If we have an intellectual, we don't have to raise our voice, and we want to find out what's true. So that for me is what I want to do.
I will honor what you've said. I will raise my. Because there's three of you and one of me. That's what.
Well, originally it was me, and now you've co-opted other people.
No, that's fine. I've invited him. I haven't got a problem. If you feel like I'm being a little bit brash, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm crude. I'm gonna lower the tempo now. Okay.
Should we go back to what we were actually talking about?
So what I'm saying is that look, with the philosophy of science, you have to understand that there's a difference between an observation and a model. If you say to me, is the Earth round or flat? I'll say to you, I'm very confident in saying it's round. Why? Because of observation. Now, you could argue, actually, it's not observation, it's testimonial account. And I believe that the majority of knowledge doesn't come from observations, it comes from testimonial, witness testimony, yeah? Because you've never actually gone, outside the
Yeah, but we can record it.
But yeah, me and you believe that it's
round.
But
we can record it, can't we? So we don't need testimony.
That recording is testimony.
Yeah, but it's not testimony as in people speaking.
No, it doesn't. Unless you want testimony doesn't just include people speaking.
Okay. But you're not calling into question video testimony.
The majority of knowledge, this is my secondary claim. So number one, a scientific model is not true. It can never be proven to be true. It's just a working, valid model that has a time limit. So Newtonian physics had a time limit.
It still applies now.
Yeah, absolutely. So Einsteinian physics is something which applies. Darwinian evolution is a working, valid model with a time limit. Now,
but that's a claim you have to back up.
No,
why do you say
that's the base?
Why do you say it's a time limit?
Everything has a time limit. For you to say I'm wrong, is for you to say that Darwinian evolution is incorrigible or otherwise eternal, necessarily true.
No, but you made a claim that it's got a time limit. I want to know, why do you say that?
I say
what
that
evidence have you got
the nature of science. Okay, what I meant by time limit.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I understand what you're saying now. It could be falsified, it could not be falsified. We still don't know. there are aspects of it which are being falsified on a yearly basis.
My limited understanding is that the main mechanism isn't really in doubt by the majority of scientists.
Yeah,
so there's there are debates in small things, but not the overall model.
No, the whole mechanism of it is actually in doubt by some scientists. Like, for example,
is it the overwhelming majority?
No, I wouldn't say so.
Okay, so I'm not interested until the overwhelming majority comes up with something.
Is your position a democratic position as it relates to science?
I will go with the overwhelming majority of scientists in a particular field.
Do you believe in the Big Bang Theory?
Do I believe in it? I think it's a good working model.
Okay, fine. If I was able to show you that the majority of people, that physicists and cosmologists, believe in the Big Bang Theory, would you accept it as a model?
Yes.
And would you accept it as, in your opinion, would you go with it as true?
Would I go with it as true? No.
Because in the beginning
we don't have enough evidence for it to be true.
The reason why I'm asking you this is because you tend towards the eternal inflation model, isn't it?
That's a good model.
Okay, fine.
It's a good model.
So what do you say about
we don't know for sure.
about the Big Bang?
Remember, my version of a Big Bang is just what happened at the beginning, when it banged, for want of a better word. That's all. Now that word is just a word that we all use.
If I can show you that, because this is your true standard, that's not my true standard. By the way, just to make it clear, I do not believe that just because the majority of scientists have come to a conclusion on something, that is necessarily true. Static state theory, steady state theory was the majority opinion pre-1905.
Are we justified in believing what is likely true by the overwhelming majority of scientists, or if not, how do we determine what is true? Because you're quite right, not truth could change, but our belief in certain things could change. So what's the foundation, if it's not the majority of science and overwhelming evidence, to a particular theory?
That's a very good question. That's a very good question. Let me tell you something.
Give me a very good answer.
Let me give you a very good answer. Science itself, inshallah. Let me tell you something. Science itself, can you say that the presuppositions of science or the assumptions of science are proven?
Yeah. Which ones?
Let me give you an example. The fact that, one, you have a mind. Number two, that we use rationality in order to do science. Number three, mathematics, because we use mathematics.
Yes, I know where you're going with this. Can you prove those things?
Yeah.
No, you can't.
No, you can't. So from the very beginning, you can't even prove the things you need in order to do science.
Okay, but now you are slightly bringing in absolute certainty. We don't need that.
Okay, so
Phil's explained that to you as well.
No,
we don't need absolute certainty.
So why do we not need it?
Because we need reliability and evidence.
Are you certain that we don't need absolute certainty?
Are we certain what?
Wait, this is going to be a.
So now you want to go with the infinite regress?
No, hold on. Are you certain that you don't need absolute certainty? So what you've said is meaningless.
If you want to play that game.
That's a cyclical. Okay, fine.
Yeah. If you want to play that game.
It's just reasoning.
No. I can play that game with you, you'll fall into the same trap.
Listen.
You can't escape it. Neither of us can.
I invite you to play the game with me. I don't mind.
Are you sure?
We are discussing things on a rational level. Okay. I feel like every time I bring up a point that you can't answer, you start attacking me.
Tell me what I can't answer. If I don't know something, I'll say I don't know.
Okay,
what can't I answer?
I'm saying to you, you just said now, we don't need absolute certainty.
Yes.
Are you absolutely certain that we don't need
from a scientific point of view, correct, because no scientist works that way, and you've demonstrated it too.
No, let me answer you the question again. You said we don't need absolute certainty in order to be certain, I'm asking you a question. Are you absolutely certain that you don't need absolute certainty?
As far as I can tell, yes.
That's a cyclical argument.
Okay.
You have fallen into you have fallen into you fell into a fallacy of circularity here. So are
we going to go on to science now, or what?
No. We don't need. Why should we go into science when you can't deal with the assumptions of science?
Do you accept scientific claims or not?
Of course I do. I have my own reason to. I have a theological reason to do that.
Which is what?
Which is that we believe, from the Islamic perspective, that there was a transcendent entity above and beyond the scope of rational and physical existence that has endowed human beings with the ability to reason, a mathematical ability, linguistic ability, a mind and consciousness, that which they can then use to do science. Now tell me, what is your justification for believing... so let me tell you something. What is your justification for believing in rationality, mathematics, language, the mind and consciousness?
What is my justification for it? Because we're here and we're able to do it.
So it's a self-evident truth?
No, not necessarily, no.
It's not a self-evident truth?
So we've got models that work towards that.
So you're saying you use language, maths, rationality, science, or the method of science, and your mind to come to the conclusion that those 5 things exist?
Do I come to conclusion? I'm not sure if I would personally come to that conclusion.
Do you use rationality to come to the conclusion that you have rationality?
Yes.
That is a circular argument.
Yes, but nobody can escape that.
No, hold on, excuse me.
Show me how you can escape.
No, hold on. You see the problem here?
No, I'm fine with it.
You don't see the problem. then that would make you, sorry sir, but it would make you
But he
someone who's
doesn't see the
unaware.
problem either. So tell us what the problem
The
is.
problem is in logic.
Yeah.
You have something called a logical fallacy, ladies and gentlemen. The logical fallacy
Stick
is...
with me. Stick with me.
Let me stick with the ladies and gentlemen, because it's also the people around, they have it as...
Are we
they
going
need
back
to
to
be
the show
educated.
again, or are we going to have a conversation?
Let me speak to you, right?
People are learning.
I need to keep...
People are learning, please.
Are they?
Yeah. Let me tell you something. Yeah? Let me tell you something. What's your name again? Richard.
Rob.
Rob, sorry, I apologize. Honestly, I forgot. Now, Rob, if I tell you something right here and right now, do you use Russian? First of all, what is a circular argument? A circular argument is to use a thing to prove a thing. Okay, how so? How do you prove that I'm tall? Because I'm tall.
I understand.
Okay, but is that
I understand.
you need something external from the thing in order to prove the thing. Otherwise, you've fallen into a logical fallacy called a circular argument.
There are certain
Do you
things we
understand?
take as self-evident, self-attesting truths, axiomatic, what a term you want to use.
Okay.
Laws of logic, rationality,
so you're saying,
our existence.
my question to you, sir.
You're in the same position, are you not?
No, I'm not in the same
Okay,
position.
show me how you're not.
Okay, thank you. But before I show you, just to recap, your position was you can use rationality to prove rationality. Do you understand that?
No,
this
I didn't say that.
Yes, you
I
did.
said I assume
No.
rationality.
No, you said you can. I asked you directly, and it's on camera. I said, can you use rationality? Are you telling me you can use rationality to prove it? You said yes.
Yes.
Okay. Now my question to you, sir, is it the case? Now, have you understood that why you can't use rationality to prove rationality?
No.
Okay, let me take. Then it requires an explanation.
Mohammed, I know this, so you don't need
So it's a circular argument. It's a fallacy.
self-attesting, axiomatic, properly basic belief. Let's call it.
So you're saying it's axiomatic. Something which is axiomatic by definition requires no evidence. Has no evidence.
I'm not sure it has no evidence.
No,
But it
has
can't-
no evidence.
it can't- You have to use it in order to falsify.
What is the
it.
evidence that you have a mind?
What is the evidence that I'm standing in?
What is the evidence that you, sir, have a mind and rationality?
That we're able to speak, that I'm able to take in.
So
your
you're using your
remember
mind
it.
and rationality to prove mind and rationality.
Correct.
So it's a circular argument.
But
So it's
I've
false.
told you that it's an axiomatic.
So it's
You
false.
use the word.
Okay. So now you're asking me.
Yes, show
how
me.
do I do it?
Yes.
Okay. Preston.
Get on with it. Come on.
No. Preston. My friend. What's your name again, sir?
I'm Andy.
And I've spoken to you before. I'm not good with names. I
absolutely.
apologize.
Come on,
Rob.
Come on.
Fascinating.
I'm
Waste
not-
of time, hurry up.
No, I'm gonna have to.
He's not going to prove. Yeah, let's go.
Go on.
What is required in order for rationality to be accepted as, in your world, self-evident or axiomatic, is something above and beyond the rational realm that endows whatever it is with rationality. In other words,
Are you
We-
using your rationality to come up with it?
no, hold on, no, I'm not. This is what I'm going to come to. I'm actually not using my rationality. Wait a minute.
Are you sure, Mohammad Hijab?
Okay, no,
will-
I'm not
this
going to
will
be
be a
using my
paradigm
hold
in
on.
philosophy, go.
I'll tell you, from a theological Islamic perspective, I'll tell you exactly what we believe in. Muslims, and this is our explanation, believe that we are born with something called the Fitrah. Okay, hold on. Calm down. Calm down. It's not so good. Calm down. If you want to hear an explanation,
I know about it.
then you okay. The Fitrah is a non-rational reality that every human being is.
If you don't have evidence for it.
Oh, hold on. No, hold on. It's a non-rational reality that all human beings are born with. We justify our rationality based on the fact that we have something transcendent, eternal, an entity above and beyond the scope of the universe
Yes, I know
that then endows human beings with rationality.
Yes, that's a claim. Okay. Now
Yes, it's
demonstrate it's true.
a claim. Now, it's an explanation. That's my explanation. What I'm saying is, what other explanation do you have for explaining the fact that we have rationality?
I've just told you what mine is.
No, you have nothing.
Shifting of the burden proof
You have
doesn't work.
no. You have nothing. I've told you I have an explanation.
told his.
No,
What's yours?
you've made an assertion.
No, I've made an explanation. I've given you an explanation.
There's a difference between an explanation and an assertion. You've made an assertion.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Back it up. Prove it.
Sometimes sometimes an assertion can take the form of an explanation.
Mohammed,
Why not?
I'll be honest with you. You're digging a hole here you can't escape from.
No, Rob, you dig yourself a hole. You're in that hole. Don't twist it. No, go back to rationality because it's very crucial.
Okay,
Yeah.
my belief in rationality, why
sir.
do humans have rationale? Why do they believe
Yes,
they have
that's-
rationale?
yes.
Is based
Are you
on
an
the
atheist?
teachings. I'm a human being.
No, but are you an atheist?
Oh, what is an atheist?
What is your theological belief?
I have none. I just read.
Agnostic. Okay, nice one.
Okay, so he's neutral. So
my evidence, and people can dispute,
that's cool.
is based on civilizations that existed before us. The ancient Greeks, the works of Aristotle, Socrates discussing this very thing, and the evidence that they used to prove it. And you have the ancient Egyptians, the Sumerians, the Mesopotamians, how they discussed it. That is what it's based on.
So, Preston, based on your logic, let's take your logic, because I like what you said there.
Does everybody understand what's meant by
Would you say that something, an idea, which is cross-cultural, and defies the boundaries of culture? What I mean by that is that you're from Africa, maybe, or from In African culture, you have certain customs. In Arab culture, you have certain customs. In South African culture, you have certain customs. Something which basically goes above and beyond the cultural landscape and goes into an idea which is present across cultures and across times.
Yeah, they call it superstition.
No. What I mean by an idea, like for example language, language exists across cultures and across different places and times. Mathematics exists across cultures and across different times. Do you accept that ideas that exist across cultures and across times, are something basically which are above and beyond the sociological time frame? So what I mean by that is the idea of God, the idea of monotheism. It's the first time I use the word God here today. The idea of monotheism.
What a surprise!
Yeah, the idea of monotheism is something which is exactly what you said. It's something which is not specified to one particular culture, has existed aforetime, is cross-civilizational, and it's got a broad time span. So it's not just, let's say, a 21st century phenomenon.
Sure, yes, I agree. Yeah.
This is more than you can say for atheism. Atheism is not as we've just described. It's a very new phenomenon. As it relates yes, it is.
Study all Greek philosophy.
On what are we disagreeing?
Some of the Eastern.
On what point are you disagreeing?
Atheism is,
when Neanderthals walked the earth, when Neanderthals and early Homo sapiens walked the earth, they didn't worship God. They didn't know about God.
That's a claim.
That's not a claim.
Yeah, it's good. That's a claim.
That's a claim.
That's your claim. Your claim is based on inference.
Okay. Let's simplify this. Muhammad was a human being, the prophet.
Yeah.
No, we're talking about
No, but I'm getting back to what you're saying. He's a prophet. He brought to the Middle Easterns the word of Allah and taught them about the Quran. But he was a human being.
Yes.
Before he was born, what were they doing? They weren't worshipping one God.
No, you're right. They were doing
So people didn't know about one God.
Right.
Preston, what we're not saying is that everyone believed in God.
Yeah, now they
And
do.
what I'm not saying is that no one was an atheist.
No, but what
do you understand
said
what I'm not
was,
saying?
you said that
no,
atheism
let me
is
clarify.
the 21st century thing.
No, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it like that. Let me take a step back. Yeah, because I can see how that can be misconstrued. No, I don't mean it like that. I don't mean it's a 21st century thing, i.e. it didn't exist before. That would be ridiculous. I'm saying...
But what I want to go back to is what you're saying rationale is something above human beings that exists and is then passed on to us. That is what you're saying. And what is your evidence for that?
I'm saying that is the best explanation for the existence of human beings.
What is the best explanation?
Let me tell you what the existence... Basically...
Still produced by the
There's too many of you now. There's about 4. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 of you. So what I'm
You did
saying...
invite us all in.
No, it's okay. Well, one voice at a time, because otherwise it will just become a little bit too much.
Okay, I'll simplify. What is your evidence that rationale exists above us as an entity?
Preston, we don't even know to go that far. All we need from them is evidence that the Fitrah exists. That's the only thing we need. If they can demonstrate that's true, now they've got a foundation.
Okay, fine.
Go for it.
So what we're saying is, listen, this is important. Because when you're asking for evidence,
Yes.
this is important. And I want everyone to remember what I'm about to say today. Yeah?
Yes, school teacher.
No, I want you to remember. I want you to remember, and you to remember everyone.
And the audience at home.
And the audience watching at home. Ladies and gentlemen, right? When you speak to an atheist, what I'm speaking to you right now, when he asks for evidence, the first thing you have to ask the atheist...
He's not atheist, he's agnostic.
Oh, sorry, I do apologize.
No, I'm atheist.
Oh, he's atheist.
No, 1 second. That's a new claim. Last time we spoke, you said you're a soft atheist. Theist, agnostic, or something along those lines.
Let's not divert.
You miss
Anyways,
I'm an agnostic.
Agnostic,
whatever you are. Okay, an agnostic,
I'll
a negative
explain it to you.
atheist.
So he's not
whatever.
sure.
No problem, he's not sure.
So is it close? It's closer than
I will educate you on that later.
So let me tell you something right here and right now, Rob.
Go on.
Rob, let me tell you something. When I speak to you right now,
Yes.
in my mind, from a philosophical perspective, Andy, yeah? From a philosophical perspective, Preston, I believe that the highest level of evidence fulfills 3 different criteria. Let me tell you what I believe, yeah? The highest level of evidence has to be incorrigible, has to be eternal, and has to be necessarily true, not contingently true. Let me unpack that, please. Yeah. This is something basically. Incorrigible means something which doesn't change. Eternal means it's incorrigibility and eternality, right?
Always remain.
So you want
always
something
remain.
absolute.
It will always remain, yeah? And number 3, it's necessarily true and not contingently true, which means that, for example, it's contingently true that I'm wearing this thing, this nice one, yeah? I'm joking. This jumper. It's contingently true that you're wearing that, or that you've got that nice hat on, or whatever, yeah? But it's necessarily true that 2 + 2 = 4. It couldn't be any other way. Understood? Do you get this? Do you accept that or not?
I'm still waiting for you to give us the evidence.
Within the rules of
please.
arithmetic,
Yes, it's absolutely right.
We've set up
It's
the
good
rules of
caveat.
arithmetic.
Within the rules of arithmetic, 2 + 2 = 4 is not contingently true, but it's necessarily true. Okay. What are we saying here? Something which fulfills those 3 criteria does not exist. Wait a minute. Say that again. Okay, I'll say it one more time.
Are you speaking with yourself or me? Or?
No, let me tell you. No. It has to
Back
be.
to the intellectual honest debate.
If you don't get 1,000 thumbs up for this, I'll be most disappointed.
No, listen. No, wait a minute. Let me tell you what I mean.
And job offers.
No, hold on. What did you just say? I'll say it one more time.
I'll say it. What did you just say?
No. I'll say it one more time. I'll say it one more time. Something which fulfills those 3 criteria, whether it be mathematics, whether it be rationality, whether it be science, anything you bring, logic, deductive, inductive, abductive, anything you want, will never fulfill those 3 criteria.
So why did you bring it up?
I'll tell you why. Because now we know what we can't give evidence for. It's important when you're asking me for evidence.
But have I ever...
No, hold on. I'm not saying you've said this, but in my mind, the highest level of evidence is that. But you have to understand that if you ask me for evidence on that level, you can't bring me evidence for anything. Do you get me?
Have I asked you for evidence?
No, I'm not.
So you're saying you can't make that the criteria when you can't bring it yourself?
Yeah. Now, the point is, what kind of evidence do we as human beings operate with? This is a question. The answer is as follows.
Did you understand that, by the way?
Did you understand? Yes.
So you can't give a criteria which you
Which no one can fulfill that criteria. That criteria is not fulfilled anywhere.
That is dependent.
Okay, give me one exception of something which is necessarily true and eternal and incorrigible.
No,
give me one thing.
In layman's terms, just to simplify this, the onus is not on me to prove that there is an other world.
I'm not saying other world. I'm not saying anything about other world.
But you're talking about a higher sense of rationale. The Fitrah.
Please. I'm saying, look,
Intelligence.
yes.
if I say
So what he's attempting to do in a roundabout way is trying to get to a position where he can give us evidence for the Fitrah. If he can do that, now we can
yes,
talk.
yeah. But no, we have to understand what. No, I think the new way of discussing, and this is, I believe, a revolutionary thing I'm going to do in Speaker's Corner.
Yeah.
Yes.
In be concise.
Yes, I have to. Is going to be a paradigm shift. I refuse. Wait a minute. What are you talking about? No.
You're doing all the talking here.
No, I'm sorry, but I refuse.
Come on, sum it up.
I refuse to now fall for this trap. I used to fall for this trap when I was younger. So give me evidence. I say, wait. And then I used to give the evidence. No. The first thing that must be established is what kind of evidence we're talking about. Because here, if you say something is, you want evidence, I give you any evidence, you can criticize it. You know that? If you give me evidence for anything in the world, I can criticize it.
Is it reasonable to do that?
Yeah, sometimes it can be, yeah?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
So, sometimes not.
I believe it's
So
my
again-
worldview, you know. What I'm saying now is subjective opinion.
Okay. Well,
Having said this,
why would you do that?
no, because I'm entitled to do that.
Okay. You just
Okay, Rob.
shooting the
Rob.
breeze, right?
Rob.
Freedom of speech.
What I'm
Yeah,
saying,
get on
and
with
I
it,
want to
man.
see if you accept what I'm saying or not. What I am saying here and now, and if you accept this, it's going to be an easy conversation. And it's going to be easy. Do you accept that the way that we as human beings come to conclusions is not by trying to find certainties in the 3 ways that I've defined, but it's trying to find out that which is probabilistically true? I.e., I say...
The best explanation.
The best explanation. We say, we don't, in the morning, when you check your phone, okay?
Okay, sorry, can I just stop you? I just want to say one thing. Are you
Yeah.
saying you can neither say there is no God, neither can we for certain say there's God? We go with the best probable explanation.
Kind of. But what I'm saying is probability works in the following way. What I'm talking about is epistemic probability. Listen, what I'm saying is, look, we determine what is true and false based on how we probabilize things in our mind, yeah? We say, okay, this is probably true. For example, when you go to the ATM machine and you put your card in, Andy, and it says, and it has all those zeros, yeah? Because I do the same thing. I mean, I put the card in and it says 1, 0, and so many zeros, but then there's a minus before, isn't it? Well, listen, when we do that, ladies and gentlemen, we're not seeing the money in front of us, do we? So it's probably true that that money is there because we have, probabilistic reasoning. That works
No,
with
you don't. We have rational reasoning. We know how the system works that money is put into.
Yeah, okay, but
and we see the driver
so we say
come in
probably
with the security and put the money. So we know it's a fact. We know it's not. It's not
Wait a
guesswork. We know it's a fact.
So you're saying, oh wait a minute, this is good. You're saying that now using empiricism. Are you saying that anything that we don't see, we don't believe in?
Yeah, but we see.
No, is that what you're saying?
We see it.
Is
Do you see your mind?
No. Is your claim?
See my-
Do you see your mind?
Do I see my mind?
Can we see
Do you
our
mean
mind?
the physical brain or the consciousness?
No. For example, I'm imagining something. Can you see it?
Can I see what you're imagining?
Yes.
No, but I
But does
can
it
tell by
exist?
the way your eyes
But
are
does it
moving that
exist?
you're imagining.
Okay, I'm not moving my eyes.
Yes, you were.
Preston, this is
No,
a
I'm
good
not.
question.
Yes, you are.
Preston,
Don't
this is
go
a
on
good
to a red
question.
herring. No,
But let me
no.
tell you something.
Yeah, it is a red
Preston,
herring. It is a red
that's not what
herring.
he
That's a good point.
asked.
You can't
He
say that.
asked.
That's
He
fine.
said.
No, it is a red
Preston,
herring. What you've said about
Preston,
okay,
please.
let's go back to the Fitrah.
No, I like this.
The Fitrah. Let's.
No,
Fitrah.
no, we have to first establish evidence. We're not going nowhere.
Yes, please tell us
Let me
about
tell you
the
something. Preston here has told me that if you don't see something, or is assumed, or is kind of alluded to the fact, if you don't see something, you can't believe it.
I didn't say
He didn't say that.
He didn't say that. He didn't say that. I have to be true.
Okay, what did he say?
Correct him. Ask him. What did he say?
You gave an example about going to a
You
cash
said the bank,
machine.
and people seen it.
You said you gave an example going to the cash machine, and you said, "How do we know that there's money in there?"
Yeah.
And I said, "We know because we see the man
Okay, so
from
you
the
said you see.
security."
Okay, so
van.
he did say you see.
No. But do you believe that only?
See the man. We
If
see
you-
the
you say you
man.
see.
The
Hold on.
security guy
Seeing-
comes out of the van,
Preston, is what-
carrying the case.
Fine.
He goes into the bank,
Preston.
puts the money into the machine.
Okay.
So we
Preston,
know.
please,
That's the evidence.
please. Is what you're saying, the evidence is empirical. You see it.
Yes.
Okay, so is your standard of truth an empirical standard of truth where you have to see something to believe it?
Not all the time. No.
Okay, so that's fine. So your statement there is neither here nor there. We go back to our standards of truth.
Alright, yeah, what about a triangle? How many angles has the triangle got?
Triangle.
How many angles has it
I mean,
got?
this is ask the mathematician today. This man is good at
How
math.
many angles has it
I
got?
don't, give me three. How many? angles?
Diverting. We're diverting.
How many sides?
Sum me up. Sum me
Okay,
up.
look.
No, how many sides has it got?
How many lines? It's got 3 lines, eh?
Yeah, 3.
Yeah.
Is that necessarily true or otherwise?
Within the rules of maths, it's necessarily true.
Within the rules.
Within the rules of
No,
maths.
within the rules of language.
Okay, fine. Whatever you say.
We always need you.
Maths is a language, by the way. Mathematics is a language.
The word
Anyways.
is the English language.
No, yeah, but also
Triangle is
mathematics
defined
itself is a, mathematics itself is a language. Anyways,
What
going
is
back.
the Fitrah and how can you prove its existence?
Okay, now hold on.
That's what we
No,
want.
it's a good question. But let me tell you something, right? So this is important. Your truth standard is not a true standard, which you're asking me to yield something with certain truth.
I've never said that, and no atheist
Perfect.
ever does.
Thank you very much. So what you're asking me is, give me something which is most probably true.
Give me something I can evaluate which is likely true.
Okay. So this goes back to what I was saying before. My best explanation for the existence of a rational mind or rational minds or minds that can process rationality is something above and beyond rationality that then endows something with rationality.
Okay, but show us why we should believe that. Why should that be true?
Why is not the business of science anyways? Why is not the business of science? I'm not telling you to believe it. I'm not telling you to.
Why?
Okay.
What evidence have you got for that?
Okay, hold on.
When I say evidence, what reason?
Let me ask you a question. You're saying what evidence, what reasons, yeah? I'm exactly saying to you that just as rationality is self-evident, I'm saying to you that the fitrah itself is axiomatic. It's metaphysical. Prove rationality.
I'm using it.
No, but then you're shooting yourself in the foot.
No.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You're basically saying this is what you're. Now let me tell you why. Let me tell you why you're shooting yourself in the foot. No, hold on, Rob, please. You're shooting yourself in the foot because what you're actually doing is you're being discriminatory. Sorry, you're being discriminatory in the way you're applying your standards. Wait a minute. Yes, you're discriminating. You're discriminating. I'm not
Let me just ask you a simple question. You're very passionate about the Fitrah. We're simply saying,
hold on.
tell us how it
Please.
exists.
You have to understand the fallacy in your own reasoning first.
So it's wrong for me to ask you to show me how it exists?
No. Hold on. Preston, please.
Preston, what he's trying to do, I'll shortcut it because it's a bit long. What he's trying to do is get Fitrah on the same level as rationality, the laws of logic. The reason Fitrah is not on that level is because in order to attempt to prove rationality, you've got to use it. So that's circular in a sense, but it's self-attesting. And it's the same with the laws of logic. When I open my mouth to speak, I assume the laws of logic are true, and for me to even try and falsify them, I have to assume them to be true.
Okay.
It's called self-attesting. Now, the Fitrah is not self-attesting. It's not on the same level.
Hold on.
So
Rob,
that's why it's
Rob,
different. He needs evidence for that.
No,
And I'm
hold
waiting.
on.
Can you see the difference?
No.
There's a big difference.
Sorry, Preston, both of you have fallen into, like, you know when you walk and then there's a big mine and then you put your foot and it blows up in your face. You've fallen into that. Because what you've done here is you're saying it's okay for you to have axiomatic assumptions of some metaphysical principles, but not others. That's what
Self-attesting.
Yes. So what you're saying
Is the Fitrah self-attesting?
yes, in the same way.
Prove it to me.
I'm saying the idea of something which is metaphysical and axiomatic is that it does not require evidence.
Why are you? No, that's not necessarily the case.
Yes, it is.
I'm claiming it needs to be
Now, if
self-attesting.
you're saying, well, if you want to refute me, give me some evidence for rationality.
I'm not even going to go down.
Okay, then don't speak to me about evidence.
Because
Don't speak to me about evidence.
Okay, so
Don't speak to me about evidence.
your response on why the Fitrah, why we need to believe it is because what?
First of all, it has explanatory power. That's number one.
That's an assertion.
And it's actually, no, that's my assertion, and actually it does. If you think
You
about
can
what I've
explain
said,
anything by making something up.
Hold on, listen. Number one, it has explanatory power. When I say that something which is above and beyond the scope of rationality, yeah, or something which has rationality but is above and beyond the explanation which is required, which is rationality, then endows human beings with rationality. That's an explanation which fits and is consistent. That's one.
natural.
And it's natural. That's number
That's
one.
you need to prove.
Number two.
How do you prove that?
Number two.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah,
Or you're saying
exactly.
God is natural.
It's metaphysical.
No, you're not.
Number two.
You need this position. Yes,
Number
it's
two.
in-
Number two. What you
God
said.
worshipping something.
Number two. You said that rationality, language, mathematics, the mind, consciousness,
No, I've used
rationality,
two of them.
all of those things, all of them have no evidence. Yet you're using language, your mind, rationality, you're assuming that you're conscious and you're discussing it with me. Yeah? My question is, isn't this an incredible double standard?
No.
No, it's not. No, sorry, if you don't see that that's a double standard,
of course it's
that
not.
means
I've
you're
told you.
No, how is it not a double standard?
I've told you,
How
the
is it?
two that I'm
Is it
using-
a double standard, Andy? Be honest with yourself.
No.
Okay, why is it not a double
Because what we're
standard?
talking about here is
Why?
in a slightly different way. Is
Why?
properly basic beliefs, isn't it? Which you've looked into more than I have. So that they are, I use the word axiomatic, so they're kind of like axioms in a mathematical system. So in other words, you can't escape them. Self-attesting is words that probably are. So any attempt to prove whatever rationality is, by the way, I've heard nobody define what rationality is, but we keep throwing the word around, requires rationality. So it's kind of locked into this. What you call a vicious circle, there are such things as virtuous circles or hermeneutic cycles. That's great stuff. Do you know? Have you heard it? Positive hermeneutic.
Anyways, I'm going to let you continue.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
I'll leave that.
I like
I'm not
it.
much of an expert on it. Maybe
That's
next
fine.
week.
Anyways, go ahead.
So there are things that you can't debate. Now, your hypothesis, I'm going to call it a hypothesis about the Fitrah. It's just that, a hypothesis.
That's right.
Rob and myself and Preston and so on and John here, we're kind of fairly low level in the scheme of philosophical attainment. I'm probably,
I don't believe
way
that.
down there.
You're being humble.
There are
Your background is like maths, isn't it?
computer science. There are proper,
Which is logical, man.
throughout history,
That's deep.
philosophers
That's
and
deep
now,
logic. Maths.
all right, guys who would, like us, contest your point of view in a very, very structured,
Let me ask you a question,
sort
Andy.
of way.
Andy,
Therefore, sort of going back to this idea of appealing to expertise, I can see that there are people whom we would agree with who would say that what you're proposing as a properly basic belief is in fact a hypothesis. So we're saying it's a hypothesis. In that case,
Well, does that mean it's wrong?
no, it's a hypothesis.
Okay. That's fine.
Therefore,
Yeah, he's right.
is it testable? Is it falsifiable? What are the tests?
Perfect.
What
Okay.
are the experiments?
Andy, I love that.
observations
Andy, I love that.
That would dismiss or confirm your hypothesis that there is such a thing. So continue.
I love this.
What is it that you love?
No. I love what he just said. Okay.
All right. We'll see why.
-2 times -2. What is it?
-4.
No.
No, it's +4.
Okay. Plus.
You weren't attending your maths module in
Okay, hold on.
I didn't.
-2 times -2 equals +4.
Yeah.
Prove it.
Prove it.
Yes, sir. Prove it, sir.
Okay.
Prove it, sir.
Anything in arithmetic?
No,
Get the two minuses and make a plus.
No, hold on, please. Let him prove it. No.
It's an interesting question. It's an interesting
Yes,
question.
sir.
So, in fact, the deeper part of your question is about the nature of mathematics.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
And if I looked at the Wikipedia article a while ago, and there's about 13 different philosophical
I would argue you
about
shouldn't look
the
at that
nature
anyways.
of. Well, it's a starting point. You know, sometimes they're good, sometimes
Go to the
they're
references on the bottom.
But yeah, exactly. That's what we do, or the talk page.
Yeah, that's fine.
Anyway, so there are a whole number, and it coincides with my understanding through other
-2
reasons.
times -2 equals 4.
So therefore, you really need to sort of have a position on what mathematics is philosophically.
Fine. What's
Which I
minus
don't,
2
because I'm not a philosopher of
minus 2
mathematics.
times -2 equals +4. Prove it.
That's okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, I'm listening.
Well, why that one? Why not 1 plus 1 equals 2?
No, I want that one. It's a bit more interesting. Go ahead, sir.
You know what?
Yes.
It's a ridiculous question.
No, it's not.
When you say prove it,
Why?
let me answer.
Why?
Bertrand Russell, you know this. Bertrand Russell and Whitehead published a book in, when was it? 1900.
Whenever it was.
Principia Mathematica.
Yeah.
They wanted to put mathematics on a secure foundation,
Yes.
you know, that's based on set theory and logic. And they did. And it's somewhere
No, they
around
didn't.
page.
No, they didn't. They retracted
So
their
in their
statements.
minds, you're right, you're ahead of me. So around page 250, it's wonderful in the history of mathematics and philosophy. It says, and thus we conclude that 1 plus 1 equals 2. In brackets, we feel this may be of some use to the wider world.
Yes, that's
so
interesting.
I don't have their intellect and time. When you ask me to prove it, I refer to you to Principia Mathematica, which is you
By the way, I'm not saying you can't prove
contains.
it. I'm just saying that. Let me tell you something. That one of the assumptions of mathematics, is that the existence of axioms and theorem. Some axioms are based on theorem, and some theorem are based on axioms. Yeah, those axioms are basically not.
Axioms are based on theorem.
Some axioms. I don't know.
Infinite.
You can check it out. I'm not a mathematician.
Axioms are, if you like, the starting point.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I see your point.
Yeah,
It
I
might
don't
be
know.
in a. So if you, I don't know mathematics
Yeah.
well enough. Presumably there are different levels, if you like. So that there
Okay.
might
Let's
be-
say some theorem are based on
there might be
axioms.
models that use as axioms theorems.
Okay, fine. So, do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the nature of mathematical axioms and theorem is that they have no proof. Or you accept them, sir.
No, wait a minute. The axioms are
They are
taken
not
as the
proof.
rules of the game.
Yeah.
Of course not.
They're no proof.
They're
So
what
why
to
do you?
start with.
What's 2 plus 2 equals 4? Why do you believe that?
Because it's likely true.
No, that's not why you believe it.
No, wait a minute.
Because there's no proof for it, sir.
Now this is interesting
There's no
because,
proof for it.
because within mathematics you'll find there
Go ahead,
are
Alladhi.
many different mathematical models of the world using different axioms. You'll know this again. In the late 19th century, geometers started looking at geometries other than the Euclidean. I mean, if you go back to Kant, he assumed that Euclidean geometry was a fundamental feature of the universe.
Yes.
Turns out it's not. He was wrong. And in fact, the mathematicians preceded Einstein because they just started playing around with
I like to see
the concepts.
It's interesting.
And they came up, a chap called Riemann, for example, came up with a space. And nowadays, of course, you can have 57-dimensional space, whatever you want. So clearly some of these don't correspond to anything in the real world.
Perfect.
Sometimes, some of them do. And the physicists will say, oh,
Don't go there.
string theory.
Look,
That's something else.
let me say something.
String theory seems to have
Physics is based
9
on maths.
dimensions.
Is-
or 11
is
dimensions.
physics-
We'll pick up some maths.
Andy,
now.
please, no, hold on, before we
wait
jump the
no,
gun.
I haven't finished yet.
Please.
So the point is that mathematics doesn't all correspond with reality.
Good.
Now the
Okay.
original question was a question about arithmetic. Now that's rooted, I would suggest, in our experience of the real world, our experience of objects. So when we take one object, another object, we use the word two to describe this attribute of numberness.
Okay, Andy.
1 and 2.
If you don't
so
mind-
it's based in our experience. Now, in our real world, until the engineers came on the scene, for example, 1 plus 1 was always 2. But when you're adding forces, I mean, if I have one force pulling that way and a force pulling that, it's 0. Because directions involved, they're vectors. Okay, so you have a whole area called vector arithmetic.
Because you can use mathematics in the real world sometimes.
Yeah, no,
For example,
no, I'm going deeper into this. Look, I'm saying, no, I'm going deeper into this.
but do we accept that?
Deep dive.
Let me tell you something. Let me say something. Yeah. The argument is going in this direction. Yeah. I'm saying to you right now that you're asking me to prove the Fitrah with evidence. Yeah. That's what he said. Yeah. Everyone could have heard that. I'm telling you, prove 2 minus 2 plus times minus 2 equals 4, and you can't do it. Now, just because you can't do it, does that mean it's not true?
Fair enough.
Okay, thank you very much. You're saying it's based on a self-evident truth, yes?
So are you saying, look, both sides, we can't go with the best possible explanation?
No, what I'm saying is, yes, that's a good point. Best possible explanation. That's one thing I'm saying. Yes.
That's what we're trying to say.
Yeah.
Like, you can't use the argument, neither can we.
Absolutely.
Go with the best possible explanation.
Yes.
And the best possible explanation is that there's a creator.
Yes.
Sum it up.
Yeah.
You see how I deciphered
but also one other point was just as maths depends on axioms, which are self-evident, have no evidence to prove them. There's no evidence to prove axioms in maths. I'm saying I have a right to believe in metaphysical principles which explain physical principles, okay, which explain physical principles, which then are also self-evident. Now you say just because self-evident doesn't mean no evidence. I'm saying that -2 times -2 equals 4 is a situation where you have no evidence.
Right.
Do you
answer that? Oh, sorry, do you want to say something?
You guys are on the same page, yeah? You're saying you can't ask me.
We are on the same page, but
I'm saying that no. What I'm saying to him is sorry. What I'm saying to him, yeah, is I'm saying to him, be consistent. This is very important. When you're speaking to an atheist, the evidence they ask you to produce. Okay, and if it was, you would not be able to do maths or science or have rationality or even say you have a mind.
Okay. So do you understand? I think you guys are saying
it's not true. Come here and
refute arguments, and it's a fair argument.
You're basically asking
it's a fair
for
argument.
evidence.
By itself, except that it misses out something fairly essential.
No, thank you very much. No, that's very honest of you, honestly.
So hold on.
It's a fair argument, thank you. Yes.
We will not be cutting the video.
We have discovered, with your help, we've discovered that we're on very shaky ground. But you haven't discovered that yet.
You're not on any sort of ground at all.
No, you're right when you said we, but when you're describing atheists. Because theists are not on shaky ground.
Why not?
Solid.
We're not on shaky ground.
No, because we come with things.
We come with faith.
No.
Rob, he agrees with me now. He agrees. Deep down, he knows it's true.
Rob,
Wallahi.
That's the question of evidence.